Everybody getting in here now. Get in here now. Get in here now. Listen. Diddy forfeits the Ibiza tapes. What's on the Ibiza tapes? This is what everybody's speculating. You see homie and you look at her. Look at Kate Moss though. Look at her. We ain't gonna get into that. The judge states the conditions of the supervision. We are gonna go into a read on that. Little Rod lawsuit. Is it on go? I saw Little Rod at the courtroom. I was at Diddy's trial for 40 days and 40 nights like my Uncle Jesus. I'm like, yo, what happened? You ain't going up to speaker now. What happened, bro? You said mad stuff. I got Little Rod lawsuit up on the screens too as well. You know what I mean? It got a lot of pictures in there. I don't know if you ever seen Little Rod's lawsuit. So even about reading it, we might just scan through it so you can see some of the pictures and see some of the things that Little Rod was a legend. You know what I mean? He got pictures. So we just gonna scan through some of the pictures on Little Rod lawsuit as well. Salute to everybody. Make sure you're all dropping likes. I want everybody to build up. Everybody hit the polls. Salute to everybody in any of the channels that I'm streaming live to. You already know. Big up yourselves. You already know. But it's scary for Diddy right now. It's scary for Diddy right now. Yeah, I just want everybody to the chat to warm up. And as the chat warms up, and then we're going to get into the read. All right, cool. Let's just play this so y'all understand exactly what's going on.
Romani told Los Angeles.
Yes.
Most of the so-called freak-offs happened at hotels, not his houses, so prosecutors would have a tough time convincing a judge that his properties were used to facilitate the crimes. Instead, the forfeiture most likely focuses on electronic devices, the phones, iPads, computers, and hard drives that prosecutors argue were used to coordinate and facilitate the prostitution charges. Romani points out that the government has already had these items in its possession for over a year. Agents seized them during the investigation, and digital forensic teams have already extracted every piece of data they needed. Diddy basically stipulated, he agreed, to give up those electronics as part of the sentencing, Romani explained. Because they were tools used to commit the crimes, they're subject to forfeiture under federal law. And let's be real, Diddy can afford new iPhones and iPads. It would probably cost him more in attorney fees to fight over these items than to just replace them. In short, the forfeiture is more symbolic than financially ruinous. Combs still has vast business interests, properties, and assets that are untouched by this agreement. The order itself was signed by Assistant U.S. Attorney Jay Clayton and members of Combs' defense team, including high-profile attorney Mark Agnifilo. Normally, details about the exact property being forfeited are listed in an attached exhibit, but as of now, no such list has appeared on the docket. This means the full scope of what Combs is giving up isn't entirely public yet. One crucial detail, however, if Combs' conviction is overturned on appeal, the forfeiture can be reversed. In that case, all of the seized assets would be returned to him. For now, Diddy's legal team is keeping quiet. Neither Combs nor his...
Salute to that. Let the chat warm up for a couple of minutes. You already know they say don't start your lives until like after 3 minutes. That's first of all. Don't even get into that speaking. Real talk. Shout out to that. We're going to get into the screen share. Let me share the screen that I need to be sharing now. Cool. All right, we're going to get into some reads, all right? This is what we're doing here. Hopefully everybody's seeing the pages right. So it's a few pages on the doc that just came in from the 15th, all right? This is the first thing on the doc, and we're going to read this real quick, and then from there, we'll go from there, and we'll figure everything else out, right? Make sense? Cool. All right, cool. Which one I'm on right there? That's cool for me, though, but which one was I on originally? All right, cool. Hold on, wait. Maybe this... I'm there. I'm there for now. I'm there for now. I could do this, though. Yeah, hold up. My bad. Cool. Let me just do this. All right, cool. Just update it. All right, cool. All right, so we can see the page and everybody can read it and see it and everything. You know what I mean? All right, cool. We good. All right. So as we can see now, this defendant, they show that he was found guilty of counts 3 and 5. They show the title in the section. Boom. The nature of the offense, transportation to engage in tuitions. Offense ended. They go into the count 3 and the count 5. Cool. He was sentenced as provided in pages 2 through 7 of this judgment. The sentence is imposed pursuant to the Sentence Reform Act of 1984. Right? Okay, cool. Let's skip down. Imprisonment. He is 50 months. You already know he's to serve 50 months. All right. They didn't check no boxes in there, so let's just leave that be. Return. I have executed this judgment as follows. Nothing. It's all blank there. So let's just leave that be. Supervised release upon you know he's gonna get 5 years supervised release. Cool. Let's get past that. The mandatory conditions. You must not commit another federal, state, or local crime. Harsh. Or local, specific. You must not unlawfully possess a controlled substance. You must refrain from any unlawful use of a controlled substance. You must submit to 1 drug test within 15 days of release from imprisonment and at least 2 periodic drug tests thereafter as determined by the court. Boom. So they didn't check those boxes, right? So let's go to the box they checked. You must cooperate in the collection of DNA as directed by the probation officers. Okay, so we'll leave everything else. All right. We just seeing what's checked. All right, this the standards of the conditions of the supervision now. Okay. As part of your supervised release, you must comply with the following standard conditions of supervision. These conditions are imposed because they establish the basic expectation for your behavior while on supervision and identify the minimum tools needed by probation officers to keep informed, report to the court about, and bring about improvements in your conduct and your condition. 1, you must report to the probation office in the federal judicial district where you are authorized to reside within 72 hours of your release of your imprisonment, unless the probation officer instructs you to report to a different probation office or within a different time frame. Everybody drop a like in any platform you're at, and everybody hit the post wherever you're at. Everybody make sure you're subscribed to OOTAONGO, OOTAONGO. Make sure you're subscribed to OOTAONGO. After initially reporting to the probation office, you will receive instructions from the court or the probation office about how and when you must report to the probation officers. And you must report to the probation officers as instructed. You must not knowingly leave the federal judicial district where you are authorized to reside without first getting permission from the court or the probation officer. You must answer truthfully the questions asked by your probation officer. You must live at the place approved by the probation officer. If you plan to change where you live or anything about your living arrangements, such as people you live with, you must notify the probation officer at least 10 days before the change. If notifying the probation officer in advance is not possible due to unanticipated circumstances, then you must notify the probation officer within 72 hours of becoming aware of the change, of the expected change, right? 6, you must allow the probation officer to visit you at any time at your home or elsewhere, and you must permit the probation officer to take any items prohibited by the conditions of your supervision that he or she observes in plain view. You must work full-time, at least 30 hours per week, at a lawful type of employment, unless probation officers excuse you from doing so. If you plan to change where you work or anything about your work, such as your position or your job responsibilities, you must notify the probation officers at least 10 days before the change. The same way, if you can't get it because it's 10 days, then you got 72. You must communicate or interact with someone you know is engaged. No, you must not communicate or interact with someone you know is engaged in criminal activity. If you know someone has been convicted of a felony, you must not knowingly communicate or interact with that person without first getting the permission of the probation officer. If you're arrested or questioned by law enforcement officers, you must notify the probation officer within 72 hours. You must not own, possess, or have access to a firearm, ammunition, destructive devices, or dangerous weapons, i.e. anything that is designed or modified for the specific purpose of causing bodily injury or death to another person, such as nunchucks or tasers. You must not act or make any agreement with the law enforcement agencies to act as a confidential human source or informant without first getting the permission of the court. You must follow the instructions of the probation officer related to the conditions of the supervision. Okay, cool. Okay, cool. That's nothing. What's this? This is special terms. What's this now? Hold up. You must submit a search of your person, property, resident, and office and vehicles and papers in your computers as defined by 18 USC 1030E1. Cell phones and other devices or media used for electronic communication, data storage, cloud storage, or network, you must submit to a search of your person, property, resident, office, vehicle, papers, computers, as defined by the same statute, and the same cell phones, communications, and all of those devices. What's the scary thing for Diddy is this. When you caught up in these kinds of cases, right, and then you get convicted of these kinds of crimes, the scariest thing is this, right? Everything that you use to further the crime, they can come and take it. So if you use your house, they can come and take the house. If you use your car to bring the escorts to the place, if you own the hotel where you was bringing them, they probably could run down and take that too. Anything that is used to further the crime, they can come and take it. So when people are saying that, it's not a far-fetched thing that they're saying that they could run down and possibly want to try to do that. I don't know if they are going to do this. We know that as far as devices and all types of things like that, those things are going to be forfeited. Right? They got the Ibiza tapes that's in there as well. What's on the Ibiza tapes? Who knows? We can only speculate. We can only guesstimate, right? We do see Kate Moss over here, though. You know what I'm saying? And then there was another picture of Kate Moss with Diddy, and Diddy got the pill in his hand. You ever seen that one? I'll pull it up real quick so you can see it if you want to see it. Yeah. Hold up. Diddy, Kate Moss. Hold up. Diddy, Kate Moss. And the pill, bro. The pill was crazy, bro. The pill was wild, homie, on Bloods and Crips. Hold up, look, bong. Everything I love, look, bang. Let me just bring it like this, boom. All right, cool. Hold up. Let me show y'all right now. Boom, boom. Show y'all right now. Diddy Cape. That's not it. This one, bang. All right, cool. So this is something else that people are going to speculating, especially when it comes to the hand. I can't zoom no further. It's crazy. It's nasty work. That's nasty work. All right. Anyway, but you see what's going on with the Pilio. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to zoom it closer so y'all see it. You feel me? Also, that's Kate Moss that's looking all, you know what I'm saying? If you know who Kate Moss is Goldie Hawn's daughter. That's who Kate Moss is. Goldie Hawn, Bird on the Wire, right? Bird on the Wire, right? Yeah. Mel Gibson, Bird on the Wire, Kate. Yeah. With her mother. That's who she is. You know what I mean? Supermodel type chick. But look, she looked out of it right there. So a lot of people are speculating that it was a big thing at the time with the pill thing, you know what I'm saying? In his hand, like, what's this in Diddy's hand? It was a big thing at that time. You know what I mean? Kind of subsided, but now it's becoming a thing again. So I just wanted to just bring it back to the forefront so that we know where we're at with everything. Okay, cool. So we read that, right? No. Did we finish this in completion? You must participate in outpatient. Hold up, wait. Let's get to the failure to submit. Let's just get through this. I'm gonna go back to this. Let's just get through this, and then we'll go to the next docket and see whatever else. You know what I mean? Let's just break it down because people don't be want to read it. They're gonna give you a bunch of fluff. I could be here creating a show and fluffing and joking, but we just want to get to the work and make sure everybody got the information. And if we want to joke, we could joke. I'll drop the link. If y'all got something to say about Diddy, I could come up and talk if you want. If you want to say something about the sentence and about this, the verdict, any part of it. It's about everything that we all have to think about. You know what I'm saying? So it's not about me knowing anything, you specifically. It's about all of us. All right. We know that the probation officer can search, under any condition when he finds a reasonable suspicion. Failure to submit to the search may be grounds for revocation of release. So you already know if you in the crib knocking on the door, they bugging, yo, listen, you in there, Diddy? Yo, listen, the D, yo, who you looking for? The D, the I, the D, the Y, nigga, we looking for Diddy. Diddy, put the Armand voice in that bitch. Diddy, we looking for Diddy, nigga. You know what I'm saying? If you don't click that door, son, you know what I mean? You could be going back to that place. Sound effect. That's what's going on with Diddy and them peoples. They not playing with Diddy Kofi, homie. Bloods and Crips. They not playing with Diddy Kofi. Hold up. All right, cool. Let me put myself right here so y'all can see me. Y'all can see the thing. All right, cool. Boom, my charger here, right? I'm gonna have to get my charger in a second for my computer. It's all good though. All right, cool. Where's the docs? All right, cool. I just want to make sure y'all see it all too. So y'all got the information. I ain't here put my logo on the damn paperwork. I don't care. It's not that serious. Ask everybody during the trial when I got all the transcripts every day from the court people. I shared it with everybody for free. People were charging. I did it for free. Anyway, let's see. You must not incur new credit card charges. I think they said he can't have a credit card or something like that, or open additional credit cards without approval of probation officers unless you are in compliance with the installment payment schedule. That's yo, Diddy, like, yo,
Oh no, you can't be serious. That is some bullshit right there.
homie, I can't get no new cards. Yo, that's crazy. You know, you live a rich lifestyle, bro. You got cash, you get cash, bro. But how much time you really using cash? Cash is just a front, you know. You bringing cash to the party, you bringing cash to the video shoot, you bringing cash online. But bro, how much time do you really need cash? You getting money, you got money right now, and you only be seeing that much money like that, right? You be using your card all the time. You tap in unless you using money for something specifically. You don't even need it, and that's crazy. But to Diddy, that's a big thing that he can't get no cards without getting permission. You will participate in outpatient treatment programs approved by the United States Probation Office, which programs may include testing to determine whether you have reverted to using drugs or alcohol. Can't use alcohol. It's a real deal, son. You must contribute to the cost of services rendered based on your ability to pay, the availability of third-party payments. The court authorizes the release of available drug treatment evaluations and reports, including the pre-sentence investigation report, to the substance use disorder treatment provider. You must participate in outpatient. That's not the same thing. Treatment program, same thing. Boom, boom. Now it's a little different though. The same thing up top, but this one say psychological. You must third-party payments, everything is same, but court authorizes the release of available psychological and psychiatric evaluations and reports. So that's the only difference between these two. These are similar. All right, cool. You must participate in approved program for domestic violence as well. And it is recommended that you be supervised by the district of residence. And that supervision is going to be 5 years. Okay, monetary. We understand the monetary penalties is a $500,000 fine. Some people are saying, you know, it's a $200 assessment. It's a $500,000 fine, just to make restitution to the victims and everything. The judge spoke to that. He most definitely spoke to that and why he made it so high. And he said that he made it so high for one specific reason, is that Diddy's able to pay it. He said, and I said it at that because you're able to pay it. Straight. That's what he told him. So I was like, but that's what he told him. Okay, that's what he told them. All right, cool. Let's get back to the work. Hold up. All right, we know he got the fine. All right, cool. Nothing clicked over there. No schedule of the payments. None of that been ironed out. The defendant shall forfeit the defendant's interest in the following property to the United States. All of the things that he was supposed to forfeit. All right, cool. Let's back up. Boom. Let's go back on the dock. All right. So this is how the dock look. Take y'all a walk through the dock. Case was long. KC. Boom. So that was the first one I clicked, right? Did I not click the memo endorsement? All right, cool. Hold up. Let's see the order. All right, cool. The court's judgment in this case did not address the dismissal of the open counts in the original indictment, the first superseding indictment or the second superseding indictment. The court intends to amend this judgment pursuant to Fed R. Crim, they name it, to indicate that all open counts in the original indictment, docket 2, the first superseding indictment, docket 144, and the second superseding indictment, docket 169, are dismissed. Those are the 3 that was flung out, right? The parties should inform the court by 5 p.m. today if there are any issue with the court amending the judgment along these. So that's going to be amended. So they have no issues with that. Cool. We got through those. Boom. Because there's also a transcript. So we got to go through that. Hold up. My bad. It's 1,000 pages. Forgot where I was at. Diddy trial, bro. All right, cool. So, but I just read that, the order. Okay, let's see what the transcript says. Look what it says. You do not have access to the transcript. Look, hold on. Let me see if I got the access to the next transcript. If not, I go back to another memorandum. Hold up. Or another memo. Hold up. Let's see the filing. Let me see what the filing of the transcript say. Hold up. Let's see what that say. If they give us access. It's only one thing. Niggas is whack. Hold up. Okay. Redaction responsibilities apply to the attorneys of records or pro se parties, even if the persons requesting the transcripts is a judge or a member of the public and the media. This is what they're saying about that same transcript that we were trying to just see. The parties have 7 days in the calendar days from this date of the filing of the notice to file with the court any notice of intent to request redaction of this transcript. A copy of said notice must also be served on the court reporter. If no such notice is filed, the transcript may be made remotely electronically available to the public. So they have a certain amount of days. So this may be released to us. They said it will be available to the public without redaction after 90 days. So after 90 days, that filing will be opened. It'll take 90 days for that. This process may be only used to redact the following personal data: identifiers, social security numbers, date of birth, minors' names, financial account numbers. See federal rule. They show the federal rule of why they're doing it. Parties wishing to request redaction of other information may proceed by the motion. Okay, cool. Let me see something else. Hold up. Did I skip something? What's this memo? Did I see this one? Oh, let me see. Now that's 10-8. You see it? No. It's 10-7. Let me just make sure I got all of them out the way. Is Diddy still in limbo? Did he get Fort Dix? Is he still in limbo waiting for Fort Dix? Shout out to Phil James. Appreciate you, King. You know the vibes. Salute to Phil James for that. Did he get Fort Dix? Yeah, the forfeitures is gonna be something for Diddy though, man. These forfeitures, man. Yeah, it's gonna be something big for him, bro. My bad. Yeah, the forfeitures, bro. They trying to run down on Diddy paper. Nick is trying to stick me for my papers. Damn. Shout out to my dog Phil James, man. On the, you know what I mean? Saying a little, you know what I mean? Donating, you know what I mean? Putting a little couple of dollars on my 40. Like Debo say. Yeah, though, man. What y'all think Diddy gonna get though? What y'all think? Do you think he's gonna do the whole sentence? Do you think that he's gonna get the appeal? He's gonna get appeal, but do you think he's gonna win? Do you think he's gonna lose? Some people are like, nah, he ain't getting no appeal, man. You know what I'm saying? I think that the judge sentenced him a way that could kind of mess up that as far as appeals go, because what the probation service was seeking is that they were seeking a 5-year floor and a 7-year ceiling. That was just their ceiling. We know the prosecution ceiling was it was going for 11.2 months. So 11 and 2 or 3 months. So we know what the prosecution was going for. But he sentenced Diddy under that. He sentenced him to 4 years and a couple of months. So he sentenced him under the probation's recommendation. So probation to be like, hold up. You got 2 counts, and you know we was pushing for you to get the 5, homie. Like, chill. You know what I'm saying? Think about it. Think about it, bro. I think it was smart on the judge's part for him to sentence Diddy like that, even though he's gave him like a big sentence, which is 5 years. I thought he was just gonna give him the 5. Just period. One content creator was like, "What are you talking about, Uda? Get out my chat." I said, "What's wrong with you?" I'm like, first of all, you don't know Diddy personally.
Oh no, you can't be serious. That is some bullshit right there.
Slow down. And I'm not talking about Diddy personally. I'm just talking about what we think the sentence was going to be. And based on probation, based on the victim statements and all of that, the person don't going to say, the victim impact statement don't mean nothing.
Oh no, you can't be serious. That is some bullshit right there.
This person obviously ain't go to court for no real shit. Because what do you mean victim impact statements don't mean something? They do mean something. What are you talking about? The judge spoke to that actually as I'm glad I was in Diddy's court. A lot of y'all was in the court every day. I could have been there every day too. It wasn't that serious to me. But I was there the day it mattered. When he got sentenced, I was in that courtroom. Best believe it. You best believe it, because I wanted to see it for myself. I wanted to get the energy for myself and just see the vibe of what it was. You know what I'm saying? And I got a chance to do that. I got a chance to do that. You know what I mean? There was a lot of moments in the court, man, emotional moments in there. You know what I mean? Diddy crying, his kids, his daughters crying for their little sister. It was a lot. You know what I'm saying? It was a lot. You know what I mean? So, do I think the judge gave him a crazy sentence? No, I just think he just gave him a sentence, bro. You know what I mean? I don't really think that he could be mad at that sentence that he got, especially with all the other charges that he was facing. You know what I'm saying? It could have been lights out for him. Besides lights out, it could have been they took your bread, they took the cribs, they took everything for real. We know that they're coming to forfeit some stuff. I don't know if they're going to be able to, not going to be able, but I don't know if they're, you know what I mean? Going to take his homes. But we know that he was freaking off in a lot of addresses. You know what I'm saying? He was freaking off in homes. But I don't think that Cassie said they freaked off in his Mapleton address. I don't think he ever did. He freaked off in their cribs. I don't think he ever freaked off in his Mapleton address. I don't think he ever freaked off in his Miami home. Son. It's not labeled in the paperwork like that. And Cassie and them never testified to those things. You know what I mean? If he was freaking off in his cribs, bro, and he was using his cars and all that to escort people over to where the escorts was going and all that, all of these things could be up for grabs. Anything, any instruments used, man, to further the federal crime, bro, he's coming for that. Period, bro. That's what they do. You know what I'm saying? That's just what they do. But we know it's going to be devices. It's a lot of devices. I went through the forfeitures. You want to go through the forfeiture list? I can show you right now. Hold on. The forfeitures is crazy. Hold on. Let me show you. Where's the forfeitures out again? Sentence was 10-3. Letter. What's this? Hold up. That's these the forfeitures? No, that's a letter from Mark Agnifilo. Oh, that's when they requesting for Diggs. Hold up. I want to see the forfeitures though. Hold up. No damn letter. Let's see no letters. How much Fort Dix filings y'all talking about, bro? It's crazy. They sound like 4 Fort Dix filings. It's just a bunch of phones though, man. A bunch of phones, devices, them tapes. I don't know what's on the tapes, bro. I ain't even gonna speculate, bro. I don't know what's on the tapes. All I know is Uda not on the tapes. You know what I mean? Uda not on the tapes, homie. That's all I know. I just left Ibiza. Thank you to, you know what I mean? I just left Ibiza, homie. Ain't no party like a Diddy party, homie. So I've heard. But you got to leave at a certain time, homie. You can't spend a night in a Diddy party. You know Diddy parties is all day. If you stay the first day, Cat Williams never said that part. You got to tell him no. What if you didn't say no? What happens if you didn't say no? Cat Williams ain't going to tell you that. If you stayed the first day, Twilight Zone, you in a 72-hour FO, homie. So you got to watch yourself, son. You got to watch yourself. And if you're using Astroglide, I stays away from the stuff. It got magical properties. But if you're using Astroglide, make sure you keep it separate from your baby oils, because that's how you get your ass caught up in a freako. Remember, I told you that in front of the court. But yeah, though, man, tell me what y'all thinking about this, man. Diddy is crazy. Indians, what up? Shout out to my dog, Philly James, man. Sexy Slim, shout out to you, man. You already know the vibes, man. Yeah, man. Diddy, man. He got his time, man. You know what I mean? Start changing some of your ways, Diddy. You know what I'm saying? Ain't nobody gonna be here batting like the one content creator that I was talking to. I was in the chat, bro. I was in her chat, yeah. Sylvia too. I'm gonna name her. Don't care. It's not that serious because I don't got nothing against nobody. But I was just in the chat, like a chatter. When I'm in the chat, I'm in the chat. I'm a content creator, but it's not that serious. I'm in the chat, bro. I'm chatting with people in the chat. You know what I'm saying? She's like, what? I'm pro Diddy. I'm like, okay, you're a pro Diddy. All right. I've told everybody I have a bias towards Diddy since I got to the trial. Don't matter. Don't care. Still got my bias. My bias is Biggie Smalls. Why would I not still have my bias? I've been told y'all this. But just because I have a bias doesn't mean I have to treat his family bad or be hating and all this other shit. I don't have to be that, bro. But I can tell you exactly how I think. You know what I'm saying? But when we're speculating about what time we think we're going to get, it's not personal. We got to be on a pro Diddy side and it's on no one's side, bro. No, we don't. Diddy did a lot of weird stuff. You know about being pro Diddy. What are you talking about, bro? Diddy did a bunch of weirdo stuff too, bro. What do you mean? Nobody's condoning that. We're not trying to make our kids do that. And he would never let nobody do that to his goddamn kids. That nigga be in jail right now for real, nigga. He wouldn't even go to court, nigga. He'd be like, yes, I did it to y'all. Y'all try to play with his daughters or some shit like that and do this, what he's doing to Cassie and them. Come on, bro, stop this. So you got to be realistic. Realistic. People with kids is making statements. It's like, it just doesn't make sense, bro. That didn't make sense. I didn't want Diddy to get a RICO. No, I didn't, bro. I thought the RICO was trumped up charges. Yes, I did, bro. When he beat the RICO, yes, I was happy he beat the RICO. Yes, people don't get to beat RICOs where I'm from. Sorry, bro. I lived a life of goddamn crime, allegedly. Niggas celebrate shit like that. What the fuck? I don't know nobody ever did that shit. I'm from New York City. See my hat? I just got the hat. Don't hide the plug.com. Don't hide the plug on Instagram. Leave them a DM. There's the promo code. That's how you get yours. Multiple kinds of hats too. But I'm just saying though, think about it. I'm here. It was designed here. Damn RICO. For the mafiosis here. How much people you think is beating at? See what I'm saying? But come on, bro. When it comes to the level of humanity and when it comes to the wrongs that he did to the women and all of that stuff, he may sit there and say, yeah, I beat them. If it was about some domestic, I'd have took my charges. You could say that. It sounds cool. What do you mean, bro? But even taking those charges for the domestic shit, that should have been like 5 years for that shit. Nigga, what you talking about, bro? It's a lot of bullshit you was doing. Would you think the state court judge would have gave you the maximum, whatever they could give you? Whatever it is. We don't know what it could be. 3, 4, 5, whatever that max is, the judge would be like, hey, just give him that. Exactly. I don't care if he was in state or fed. That's how come I was on the prosecution's body. Let's say, yo, look, if y'all really believe there's potential victims in this case, why don't y'all just charge him like this and stop reaching for the stars with the RICO and the other stuff? Feel me? I was saying this during the trial. And then he's going to have to plead guilty to this. How is he going to come into court with a domestic case with all the stuff that he did, bro? He cannot say nothing but just say, yo, I'm guilty and putting my hands up, bro. If you in court as a man, especially this color man, and you in there for some domestic charges, bro, and you don't have no sympathy, no empathy, no humanity, no nothing right now when you speaking, if you get a chance to speak or your lawyer speaking for you, what do you think they're going to do to you, foolio? What are you talking about, bro? Yeah, put your hands up. Just like Diddy did. The first opening statements and first thing they did, it said, look, man, if this was domestic, we own all the domestics. We own it all. That's what they said. They own it all. And the judge, when it came to granting a bail, said, stop in the name of love. He said, hold on. Based on you owning it all, just based on the violences that you was owning from the very beginning, just based on that alone, bro, probation's getting sprung is a dub. Bail is a dub, homie. That's what he said. He said bail is a dub, homie, just based on the violences alone, bro. Okay, some of these same conversation when we're talking about the violences and we're talking about some of those things. That is why Agnes Fillos thinks that they have a case towards the appeal popping on a strong, you know what I mean? On a strong way, based on him thinking that maybe the judge broke some constitutional laws. Him thinking that, oh no, I got to do the math more on that. Maybe speak to a couple of legal minds and say, yo, break that shit down to me a little bit. Look at me, he breaking it along. What's up? You know what I mean? I ain't gonna fluff you. I'm gonna tell you the truth. But he think that the judge became a 13th juror and basically sentenced him as harsh as he did based on the things that were relevant conduct or the things that he was acquitted of. But that's legal in court. You know what I mean? You're acquitted of things. You're just acquitted of things because the jury couldn't agree that you did this. Do you believe that the jury could be in there saying, you're not guilty of this and this and that? Remember, the judge was there the whole time watching the case too. Do you know the judge could be there like this? They got this wrong, bro. He's really guilty of all these things. Remember, the judge is the judge, the jury is the jury. Remember, the jury don't have to agree. They might not agree on something. Many people go free. That is wild. Some people get in jail. That's innocent. You know what I mean? It's present your case. You know what I'm saying? But those things that was alleged against you can still be brought back. What do you think of it? What, the tape? What do you think about? You don't think they're talking about the tape? What? You didn't get convicted of the tape. No, you didn't, sir. No, right? You got convicted of transportation and prostitution, right? But that tape is still the tape, and we're going to talk about that. the beating and all of that. Oh yeah, we're gonna talk about that. We're gonna talk about the violence. We're gonna talk about why he's this detriment to the society and the community, and why these people should still have fear for their life, and why he should have more of a harsher sentence, and all of these things. And that's why they tailored all of the impact statements to have the same kind of tone. Maybe the victims did write their statements, but I believe that the prosecution took the statements after they probably wrote them and dressed them all up, because every statement had uniformity. And if you get 10 people in the room, even usual suspect movement, put the money down, cocksucker. Remember? Everybody gonna say it different. Put the money in the bag, cocksucker. Remember? Kevin Spacey? He's a weirdo. Whatever. Usual suspect movie though, right? 5 people are going to say everything the same way. Look, Capricorn Clark and Mia said what was the exact word? Not changed. I think changed or distorted. Something like changed the trajectory of her career. And they both said the same thing. I'm like, what? Who said that? This nigga stopped my bag. Yo, this nigga tried to, say he messed my money up. He stopped my whole career. Everybody's going to say something different. Why y'all both saying it the same way, bruh? Right? I'm like, that's odd. It's odd, bro. I'm not no big legal genius, but I'm like, that's odd, son. I'm from the hood, son. That don't feel right to me, bruh. That's it. Spidey senses kicking in, nigga. Don't feel right. Just like when Jane was testifying, and it was like, Jane, so what did you buy Diddy? I bought Diddy a TV that can roll around the room because I just thought that the TV could suffice instead of us using the escort. We could just use the TV. This is suffice to just be the escort. I'm like, what? They asked Jane this one question, though. This is how come I know they tailored her shit. Listen. They said, Jane, okay, what was on this TV? What were you watching? She said, we were watching my videos of her. You're like, okay. So what did you see on the tapes, Jane? Listen to me. 1 million Americans are on Earth. Probably 1 trillion. I don't know how much. But I'm just going to ask you, do they talk like this? Okay? Regular Schmericans, bro. Regular Schmericans, not no legal Schmericans, not no police Schmericans, not no political Schmericans. I'm talking about regular Americans, bro. Regular Americans. They said, what did you see on the tape? She said, all I saw was this pattern, this consistent pattern, this pattern. All I just saw myself on the pattern. Huh? Coach K. Okay, prosecution was coaching that shit for real, Phil. I don't know what the hell you thinking about, bro. Shalu Cotton, facts of life, bro. He said, I think I got on appeal. Yeah, he got good rights for it. He got good grounds for it, especially with this thing. Them talking about the judge may have became a 13th juror and all sort of stuff. I don't know if it fly, it fly. But I just think that regardless, his time is short still, bro. He got 5 years. He's already in there for a year and change. Okay, the judge gave him his sentence. All right, this is his first offense. That's gonna knock off some months off of this already, right? He probably get a couple more months knocked off of that. Feel me? How much longer you think you really gonna do? How much? How much, bro? You got like 2 years or so. How much you think you really gonna do, bro? You don't really have that long. I know it's hard when you're in jail and you want to get the hell out. I know the feeling. I know the vibe. You know what I'm saying? I get it. But sometimes we just think we ready, but God got a different plan for you. You might think you changed because being in jail alone make people think they changed, but I watch people from the hood every day, son. Say we changed. Even I did say I changed, nigga. Came home, nigga. Same shit, nigga. Don't matter. So I'm just saying, did you really change? Is you really changing? Are you really changing? And is this gonna save your life? Because Capricorn Clark testified that, listen, son, he needs to be away from his money, his lifestyle, his life, and his drugs and all of that. He needs to be away from it a little longer. That is the only thing that he's going to understand. Forget the jail. This is what he's going to understand. He needs to be away from these things. Some people are saying like, yo, jail is saving his life. He's a different person. He's not on the drugs. He's thinking clear. His kids testify. He's clear as I've ever seen him. He's, you know what I'm saying? He's looking like the changes that he's saying, and I'm seeing them different. You know, that's his kids. Of course, they're going to say what they're going to say. But jail has the power to do that to you, bro. So I ain't going to say they fluffing. I know they saying what they got to say for their pops, but I'm just saying jail has the power to do that for you, bro. And you're a person like Diddy. You've been living your life the whole time. Now you got some 18-year-old person that just fucking came in the fucking COs, and now they telling you what the damn doing, telling your ass whatever the case, and hoping your ass, and they edging you on, hoping that you get out of line so that they can come fuck with you real quick, so that they can make a little name for themselves. Say, yeah, man. Yeah, I had to lock Diddy ass up in the block downstairs and all that. You know, Diddy try to get loud with me and all that. And I told this nigga, yo, listen, man, lock up, bro. Yo, Diddy try to, yo, Diddy had to lock Diddy ass up in the jail. People want a story, bro. You don't think people are trying to bait on a person like a Diddy in jail? You think everything just all cool, everything just all nice? This is jail, son. It's the worst place on earth, son. And you're going to pay your way through it. Trust me, because everybody got their hand like this. Oliver, more porridge, homie. Yeah. Come on, bro. This is real. So the best thing that could happen for Diddy is that they didn't take his bread. Straight, son. And that's what I thought that the real case, the major parts of it, like the RICO and all of that, I thought that it was more about his money. RICO's really not one person RICO's, even though we see R. Kelly get thrown in a one person RICO too, though. You know what I'm saying? So we seen them, but they're rare. Yeah, man. I think Diddy just need to work on what does being free look like. Like he said, right now, if he would have got released or whatever the case, he had a scheduled like speech in Miami, like a place set up to speak. So the prosecution was cooking like, oh, he want to go perform again. Prosecution was cooking on him. So when Diddy got a chance to speak and he spoke about it, he's like, nah, I'm not doing like no performance, man. Like I want to be able to speak. I want to be able to teach and talk to people about my experience. Like, look, bro, this situation is a crazy one. He's like, look, man, look what I went through. Look, my life is crazy. And look what I just went through. So I think I could be able to talk about that, such as the program that he's running while in the facility. He's doing the business with Diddy thing. You know what I'm saying? That program, they said that it's they brought it in the trial. They said that the program was impactful. You know what I mean? One woman wrote a statement to the judge, a inmate's mom, just another inmate's mom wrote a statement to the judge, to a letter saying like, yo, her son, she's never seen her son so hopeful being in prison. I guess her son, you know, it's federal jail, man. Probably been in there for a while, fighting this case or whatever, because you know people be in there for a while too in MDC Brooklyn, but a lot of times you be transitioning, you get your sentence and all of that, and then they move you to another facility like a Fort Dix or whatever the case may be. So people are just in there just housed, really. People are in limbo in Brooklyn MDC. You're just passing through there. You're just waiting to be sentenced, and then you're moving to your facility. Feel me? If you've been there fighting your case or waiting for your case to go down, and you've been there for like 3-4 years of damn shit, and now you go through, you know what I'm saying? They might say, all right, cool, you're already done. So, boom. But 9 times out of 10, you will be moved and housed somewhere else. You know what I mean? Diddy's trying to get Fort Dix. Fort Dix is a cool location for him. Not too much going on. He can keep his head low, just do what he got to do real quick. The time is short. So, you know, when your time is kind of longer, you sometimes move facilities from one place to another. But the time is short. You know what I mean? The time is like a few years. You know what I mean? So he could spend that time at Fort Dix. You know what I mean? And that's good for you. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's really good. If you can spend your time in one location, it's good. You know what I mean? You build friends. You're going to build enemies too. Sometimes you want to get about the spot. You got beef. It's hot. You know what I mean? But 9 times out of 10, you're building people that you know and you get familiar. So when it's time to move, like right now, he's so familiar with MDC. He know the people that they alleged people try to shank him. I don't know how serious or true it is. I heard the stories too from outside the streets, not just from news. So I heard the story, so I don't know how true it is. But, you know, look, he's teaching a course there, this and this and that. You know, the guards know him. You already made your relationships being in there for 13 months. You know what I'm saying? So now when you got to move, you know, moving is the worst part of life, when you got to move houses and stuff like this, moving in your life. Because you got to start all over again. Now you got to be brand new again. You got to meet people again. You don't know who you could trust again. It's all over again. You know what I'm saying? You probably got 1 or 2 people that you're getting down with and you cool in a spot with right now in MD. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, I think Fort Dix is a good location if he could get it. I think he would, though. If he hasn't gotten it already, I think he will. I don't see no reason why the judge wouldn't give it to him. It's in New Jersey. It's an old retired Air Base Army barracks. So it's got a couple of sides to it. I did a video on it the other day, so you can go and check it on the channel. I did a video on all of the channels that I'm streaming live on. It's on there. Everybody subscribe to OOTAONGO though. CashApp, OOTAONGO, PayPal, same thing. But yeah. So I brought up all of that. I saw the location. I brought up the Google Earth. I brought up an inmate that was there. He was speaking about it. His name is Ian Bick. I brought up Ian Bick's conversations as well. You could go and check the videos, check some of the shorts that's on the channel. And yeah, you know, Ian said it was a good look for him. You know what I'm saying? This is a place that he wanted to go. He didn't know that he was going to get the chance to get granted it, but his lawyer ended up knowing somebody in the DOJ or something, in the BOP, something like that. You know what I mean? He ended up knowing somebody in there that pulled the card and figured it out and told him, like, yo, look, because he got sentenced to 30, I think like 38 months. And he was like, yo, for some fraud shit or some shit like that. But he was like 18 years old, owning a nightclub. He was 18 owning a nightclub. He got booked, crazy, Connecticut, maybe Danbury, somewhere he was from. Then after he got booked from Danbury, they shipped him, boom, Brooklyn house. I mean, not Brooklyn, Brooklyn MDC, boom, where Diddy's at, boom. He got his sentence, and then he went to Fort Dix. You know what I mean? So you can go and check that video as well. So, you know what I mean? Might give you a little update and let you know what's going on. You mean he's not singing and singing talent? And then, nah, Diddy can't sing. Diddy ain't got no damn talent like that. Diddy know how to find the talent and bring the best talent out of you. That's Diddy talent. I said sing. Like Keisha was in there crying. Lord. Remember when he had Keisha under the depression? Bruh. I said, sing that shit. Keisha was like, yo, she had never too much, never too much. You know, she did that remix too. Shout out to Luther, RIP. Yeah, bro. Keisha had to give it up, though. Trust me, Diddy brought the greatness out of some people, though, bro. But we understand he was trying to bring the other greatness out because in a 72-hour freak off, in the 70th hour, he was telling Jay, finish strong, finish strong. He told her, finish strong, son. I said, and she finished. I said, this nigga Diddy got championship spirit, man. And he just wasted his talents. Should have took it to South Beach like LeBron.
Oh, no, you can't be serious. That's some bullshit right there.
Nasty work with Diddy. Yeah, though. Nasty work with Diddy, bro. It's crazy, son. Shout out to his mom, though. Shout out to his kids. Shout out to my grandmoms. You know, my name OOTAONGO. You know, me and Diddy still got beef, so I act like you play me and Diddy's pinting. I mean, chill, homie. Diddy's my cousin, honorary cousin, because his mom's adopted me. Now she's my grandmom's. So me and Diddy still got beef because he's mad at that. He loves his mom too much. His kids is my niece and my nephews. It's all good, Diddy. I don't care. I took his dance. Did it in front of the court all day. I took his song. The O, the O, the T, the A, the O, the N, the T, the O. It's Udi. Yeah, so I took his song. He's mad behind that. He's vexed. Diddy is mad behind the song. He didn't even write that song. So I don't know why he's so mad. The songwriter should have been mad. So Diddy's still mad behind that. The oils and the Astro Glass slipper slides. So look, this is what's going on, bro. Leave me be. Leave me to Beaver. Leave me to Beaver, bro. Leave me be. I'm telling truth, homie. On Jesus sandals, on Jesus chancletas, I told y'all the truth. Leave me be. But yeah, though, y'all tell me what y'all think gonna be. But y'all tell me what y'all think gonna pop with this Diddy thing, man. Is he gonna get the appeal? Everybody that's watching, make sure y'all all subscribe and make sure you hit the notification bells to all. Okay, cool. Yeah. So I could have been clipped these off of here. Let me just remove these for now.